Real discussions tonight. Undercrown. Good evening, everyone. This is Financial Literacy 101, and for this evening cigar talk, I'll be enjoying a Underground, Undercrown, not underground, Undercrown. Now, I'm going to read some information based on this particular cigar. It's a blend of Brazilian and Nicaraguan long filler tobacco with a stalk, ground habanero binder. The first thing they say is that you should know about it is how firm it is. It is pretty firm. Now, with this particular cigar, I'm going to do a full cut. This is a nice, mellow, soft smoking cigar. I'm just going to cut, make sure I get right there between the second and third lines of the head there. There we go. Okay. I'm going to light this bad Billy up so we can get into the discussion. I think that's very important we get into the discussion. Let me burn the ends like I always do. I kind of roasted the ends, but anyway, I'm going to burn the ends. Nice. Very, very good. Okay. So anyway, with that being said, let's come back. Let's get into the first discussion, which is about how family use other family members, whether they are here in the U.S. or abroad, and how they use you and trick you and manipulate you and make you feel guilty about you giving them your money you earn and you work your butt off for. All right. So what's the most important about the first topic for tonight is giving your family money is that now personally, I've never endured that sort of behavior from my family. Now, I remember an uncle of mine quite recently this year reached out to me years, never said anything to me, saw me on social media. I will reach out to him. This, that, and the other, okay? But no, not at any time did he ever say, hey, how you doing? How things are going? He just simply say, hey, man, I see you got all that money over there. Can you give me some money? But family will use some of those very special moments in your life just to extract resources, just to extract money from you. And it's a very sinister, it is a very evil thing to do. Good evening, Wendell. Be one to you too, brother. Nice to see you here this evening. I'm going a little bit earlier than what I said because there's a lot going on and people going to watch the playoff game like myself. Tonight, I'm enjoying a Undercrown cigar, and I'm going to use my one of my favorite candles tonight. It is a vanilla bean candle, and this is for odors in my little smoke room here / studio. Let me just light this up very quickly. Oh, man. I love that smell. But nonetheless, I want you guys to think about how you right now is probably working a job you don't probably even want to work, then let alone have to fork out money, give out money to family members who are unappreciative. And here's the thing. Sometimes when you loan certain family members money, it's an addiction because they will keep coming and asking you over and over again for money. Why is that? Because it's easier to ask you for money than to go and get a job, to go and get a side hustle, to be a good steward of your finances. See, it doesn't matter if you live here in the U.S. or abroad. And I know a lot of people from the Caribbean, Asia, also the continent of Africa say, well, you know, my family's not doing so well back there. So did you come over here specifically to work your ass off in America to send hundreds and thousands of dollars back home? Did you do that? Was that your purpose? Or did you somehow get here to make a better way for you and your immediate family? And every now and again, you gave some money away. Because here's the thing. Family would use their bloodline. Family would use connections. Family would use a function, an event, an incident, a special time that occurred in your life. Like, oh, you know, when you was 12 years old, I took care of you. And, you know, so I'm not doing so well right now. They use that guilt. It could have been your favorite uncle, your favorite aunt, your mom, your dad. Sometimes your family, because by blood, but they're not your family because they only see you as a resource to take out of you. They only see you as a resource. And a lot of us, we love our family so much we would do anything for them, but it's leaving you broke, it's leaving you destitute. And you're trying to figure out how to maneuver this space. It's a very difficult space. And sometimes now, have you ever noticed that sometimes family members and friends, when you don't give them what they want, if you don't, I won't let you borrow my car because I don't let nobody borrow my car. But man, I really need it. It could be your brother. It could be your father. It could be your sister. It could be your mother. If you don't allow them to use your resources and your money, they start ignoring you, or they only come around when they need something. Have you noticed that too? Like they throwing a party at their house, but you don't get invited. They're going on vacation, but you don't hear nothing about it. Good evening, Jermaine Anderson. B1 to you too, brother. And these are the issues that are systemic in our neighborhoods and our environments. Because take, for instance, you got a decent job that's bringing in really good income. Majority of Black Americans, we're from where? We're from the hood. We're from the projects. We're from the slums. And so when one of us make it out of it, other family members will contact you out of the blue. Hey, man, how you doing? All of a sudden, out of the blue. Or some of them stay close to you, like, I know he's going to be something, just so they can use you. But the question is this. When do you stop lending a hand to a family? When do you stop being a charity case for family? Meaning that every time they get themselves in a financial situation, a financial difficulty, they call you to bail them out. Here's another perspective that you ever thought of. You ever thought that your family members may have money? They just want to use yours because they know you're a sucker. Yeah. They know that anytime they call on you that you'll just fork out money. You'll drive over there and buy groceries. Have you ever thought about that? See, these are some of the things that I believe that are important, that sometimes blood is not strong enough to connect everything that you have. This is a tough conversation for most people because a lot of people are very close to their families and they love their families and they feel as though if I have it, I'm willing to give it. And I have a lot of people who go against my message when it comes to just giving family, money, because they're like, oh, well, I'm from Africa. I'm from this country in Africa and we're not doing so well. And I'm saying, okay, well, what is they can do that can bring in more money? Because money can be made in any country. And I'm not saying that if I was in Africa, I wouldn't be better off. I'm not saying that. I know some of the poverty levels are much higher in African countries than in the US. But the problem is when you start getting taken advantage of and people believe that you owe them money, that you owe them your resources, that if they get put out their house, that they supposed to come live with you. Here's the big difference. What if your mother, father, uncle, aunt, cousin, what if they are drug addicts? Because I know some people like, man, I don't care. That's my mom. I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to bring her in. That's my dad. I'm going to take care of him. I'm going to bring him in. My thing is, if they have an addiction problem, they're definitely going to some sort of counseling. They're going to some sort of drug rehab. And here's the thing. You have an immediate family to care about. You have a wife. You have a husband. You have children. Do you want to bring someone in that is from that environment? Do you want to bring someone in who's going to bring a lot of traffic, a lot of drama, and especially drugs inside of your house? And here's the thing. If your family member doesn't want to go to rehab, then they shouldn't want to come to your house. If I have it within my financial capabilities, and one of my family members say, hey, I'm not doing so well, and I knew that they was on drugs, and I had enough resources to get them in drug rehab, and they refuse that drug rehab, but they still want to come live with me, oh, hell nah. You're not coming to live with me with that sort of issue. Now, granted, there's family members who getting financial binds every now and again. I am not saying don't help nobody. I'm not saying that. but you have to know when you are being taken advantage of. Good evening, Sean. He says here, we call it the black tax. People must learn how to say no, though difficult. Okay. But no one is going to have your back if you grow broke. We have needs to put money away for our retirement years. And see, here's another thing. By you forking out money, don't matter where your family members are, you have to consistently work in order to maintain the low-level lifestyle you already have. But I remember it was this colonel in the Army, and he told me that he gave so much to his family, he was $150,000 in debt. Because he came from the hood and his family lives in the hood, and you know the whole story. I don't even know to bore you with that. And he said they continue to take. They were like blood-sucking vampires. And then when he needed them the most, after he helped them out of their bills in debt, getting evicted, nobody could help him. Is this the case for everyone? No, it is not. This is not the case for everyone. But I really want you to examine your friends and family, because if you have a relationship where majority of relationship is talking about them, you doing something for them, you taking them somewhere where, I don't have a car. Okay, why aren't you saving up to buy a car? Well, I don't make enough money. Okay, why don't you have another job? Well, I have 2 kids. It's always a freaking excuse. So today, I put out in my community chat, how much money does it take to start a business in your opinion? I put $0, $1,000, $5,000, and $10,000. Majority of the people said, if I can recall correctly, hold on. Let me check this. I want to be spot on, family. I want to be spot on. I just don't want to do hearsay. Give me 1 second. Let me look this up very quickly, because I think this is very, very important. Okay, I believe this is very, very important, because I want to give you guys a percentage. Now I just put this out, so I only got like 31 votes. But here we go. 13% said $0. 19% said $1,000. 39% said $5,000 and 29% said $10,000. Now, I gave a lot of videos on how to start a business with $5,000. I gave a lot of information on how to essentially start a business or get married with $5,000. And by the way, this will let all my YouTube friends know I got married Friday. I am now married to my fiance. I don't know if she regretted, but guess what? I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere either. I love you, okay, babe? You're not going nowhere. I put that on everything. No, I'm kidding. No, she ain't going nowhere. But here's the thing. We got married right in our living room. We got married right in our living room by the window, by the backyard. It was me, our son, her, the pastor, and his wife. Boom. We were done about 15, 20 minutes. We didn't go out and spend $10, $15, $20, $30,000. No. $200 to the pastor and his wife. $80 to file the marriage license. We got married for under $300. We're going to the Dominican Republic on July 30th. And then we're also planning a trip to go to Costa Rica. We're trying to figure out, we're going to call it our honeymoon. And then, next year we're trying to go to Africa, because here's the thing. I love this lady because she's financially minded. She's like, nah, baby, let's get married in the living room. Oh, okay. I know I spent enough on the rings. See, that's the thing about family, guys. A lot of times you're not financially yoked, right? You may be a saver and another family member may be a spender. And you got to teach them through hardship when they're down at their lowest. That's the only way people learn, is when they're at their lowest point and they don't have anybody to save them. See, if you always have to save somebody at their lowest point, then they know that you always got their back. You have to teach lessons when it's difficult for you emotionally and for them physically, because they might get put out, but they may need to get put out to get back on top. This is a learned behavior. I see Abina S. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. But here's the thing. In our families, we either be a family member or a friend. Majority of our community, we live above our means. See, what happens is we let social media, we let entertainers and athletes decide how we should live our lives. Like if they have a huge, extraordinary, extravagant wedding, then we need a wedding. Do you know people go in debt when they get married? Did you know that people go in debt when they get married? By the way, family, we're going to switch the topic here in a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about the assassination of the Haitian president, Jovenel Moise. If I'm pronouncing it incorrectly, I apologize, but that's the way I know how to say it. That's a really deep topic too. But let's finish up with this one. I've known people do get married $30,000, $50,000 and then get divorced a year, 2 years later. And depending on the circumstance, more times than likely, who becomes poor and who levels up? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a buck. More times than not, men become poor when they get divorced after forking out thousands of dollars on rings, thousands of dollars on the proceedings and the proceedings for marriage. And then in the Black community, we also have to think that Black people don't have traditional weddings where the groom's father pays for the wedding and your father or mother pays for the honeymoon. No, that doesn't occur. More times than not, when Black Americans are getting married, we're paying for everything ourselves. We're paying for the rings, men, and she's paying for your wedding band. You're paying for the wedding ceremony. You're paying for the limousine. You're paying for your suit, your tuxedo. You're paying for your wedding gown. You're renting out the church or convention center or event area. You are paying for the photographer. You're paying for your honeymoon. You're paying for every single thing, and people are spending upwards from $10,000 to $50,000 for a couple of days. And this is a very special moment. How special is this moment? Because here's the thing, I would think that nobody gets into the sanctitude and sanctuary of marriage, right? Which is a covenant with your significant other, just a couple of years later, just to get divorced. I'm not thinking no one is doing anything malicious as that. But the point being, we're forking out thousands of dollars where guess what? Like we're doing, we're putting our money in a savings account to go to Africa. We're putting our money in an investment account to level up. These are some of the things that you guys could be doing, especially, but you got to be with a like-minded person. You have to be with a like-minded person. And tonight's evening drink is, usually I have my YouTube iced tea, but tonight, H2O, 2 parts hydrogen, 1 part oxygen. Has a sobering effect, has a sobering effect. Hydration. But see, these are the things that we don't talk about in our community. So more times than not, we're trying to floss, we're trying to impress somebody. And men, here's the thing. Have a budget. Have a budget for everything. Like, take, for instance, you don't mind giving family money. You don't mind loaning friends. Because I've been in a predicament where I had to borrow money from friends. I remember borrowing money from a friend that I was living with for absolutely free. This was during my simp days. It is what it is. I was a simp. Most men have been simp one time or not. I don't know why this whole narrative of simping is like people act like they never simped before. Like, oh, he a simp. Most men have simped before. Because listen, you gotta have to pay to play. And these beautiful women, these iconic figure women, when we didn't know any better, when we was in our 20s and 30s, sometimes you pay to play. We either be in gifts, going out, activities, trips. You was a simp. You did all of that just to get some nookie. You did all of that just to get some cookie. So guys, you need a budget that you just won't go over, whether it be loaning family money. Hey man, I got $100, man. And here's the thing, don't ever give family, don't ever give friends money you're not willing to lose. I'm gonna say that because a lot of us like, oh man, I need $1,000, I need $2,000, my car in the shop. Oh man, I'm a month back on my rent. I need $2,000. That's how much my rent. If I don't get $2,000, I'm gonna get put out. Hey man, I got 500, man. That's all I got. Man, I got 250. Don't put yourself in a financial bind because of a family member or because of a friend. And some of you are like, oh no, I do anything for my family. You and your family, and some of you like, I'm okay with that. And this is just crazy to me. You and your family gonna be out on the streets. You and your family gonna be in that cardboard box. You done worked your ass off to put yourself in a better position, and a family member did the exact opposite of what you did. They splurged with their money. They were immature with their money. They had fun with their money while you were saving, doing all the right things, saving up for your house, saving up for your car. And you got to give them all the hard working money you gave. Hell no. And you think they're going to pay you back. I'm going to get you back during tax time. No, I'm good. I got 250, bro. Thank you, Wendell. Wendell said, I definitely cut back on lending money out to my family. And everybody goes through it, okay? And that's a general statement, but most people go through that when their family asks them for money. And here's the thing, entertainers, rappers, singers, sports personnel, I can only imagine all the family that contacts them out of the blue and like, hey man, congrats on making the NBA, man. NFL looking good. Oh, you just came a tennis star. Oh yeah, man, I didn't know you was that good in golf. Hey, you got $500? Out of the blue. Isn't it amazing that when you didn't have nothing, no one asked you for nothing because they knew you didn't have anything. But as soon as you get a leg up, they come and chop that mother down. As soon as you're doing this a itsy bitsy well, you moved out of the ghetto to the low middle class neighborhood, and they say, hey, help me out. Can I come live with you? We can save money together. I see how you do things, man. I can't do that. But let's switch it. Let's switch the conversation because I think it's important. Now, we all know, if you don't know this by now, you've been living under a rock. Unfortunately, the Haitian president, Jovenel Moïse, got assassinated by a hit platoon. Now, I'm prior military. Supposedly, there was anywhere between 26 and 28 people. 2 Haitian Americans, and the rest were Colombian citizens. Okay, 2 Haitian Americans, the rest was Colombian citizens. Now, what the Western media is trying to paint a picture, they're projecting propaganda through imagery. And see, black folk, what we need to understand is that white supremacists, they're very intelligent. 10% of the world's population is controlling the 90% of the world's population, and that is because of their intelligence. And they know how to be very conniving and manipulative. They know how to hoodwink. They know how to trick people very easily. And if you are operating on a low vibrational energy level, if you are operating on a low intelligence level, if you live in a box, if the only thing you understand and know is your environment, your community, and you've never traveled, you will be easily fooled. You will be easily manipulated. Because when I look at things like this, why are you only showing the only 2 black gentlemen doing this whole op? Now, if you notice, These two black gentlemen are dressed alike. Black pants, white t-shirt. Now, there's a lot of controversy over, oh, one of these are doctors and they try to become the Haitian president. So what they did was they went over to Colombia through the way of another country or something like that to gather a hit squad to go and assassinate the Haitian president. Their story is they were interpreters. Now, these two gentlemen supposedly know English, French, and Spanish, which makes sense. They're Haitian Americans, so they know French, because we understand that the French tried to colonize Haiti, but they got their ass whooped in 1804, where the Haitians rose up and killed all the French, women, children, and the men, whether you was a soldier or not. That's what you call a slave rebellion, a slave revolt. That's what you call a massacre. Serves them right. Serves them right. And that's why essentially Haiti has been cut off from the world. And believe it or not, Haiti has a lot of resources to give to the world, but the Western world has essentially isolated Haiti. And I was listening to the BBC talking about that Haiti is part of the Americas. Haiti is not part of the Americas. Haiti is not part of the Americas. It's not part of South America. I don't know who taught them geography or not. Then if you read this, family, let me just read a little bit of this right here. I'm going to blow it up. And it says here, it says a DE official assigned, I'm right here, urged the suspect to surrender to local authorities and along with the U.S. State Department colleague, shared information with the Haitian government that assisted in the surrender and arrest of the suspect and another individual. It says the DEA is aware of reports that President Moisier's assassins jailed DEA at the time of their attack. These individuals were not acting on behalf of the DEA. While the officials did not identify which of the arrested Americans was the informant, and Harold McCaffrey both identified him as a 55-year-old West Palm Beach-based suspect, Joseph Vincent, the Haitian American, was first arrested then 20 years ago for filing false information on U.S. passport application and went on to become a paid DEA informant, the Miami paper said. So he was a paid DEA informant that got arrested 20 years ago for passport, but now he's an assassin. Now he got together a hit platoon, not hit squad. A squad is like 4 to 8 people, okay? Like 4 to 8 people, that's a squad. It was 26 to 28 people. That is a freaking platoon. Do you understand the resources? Do you understand the strategizing? Do you understand the logistics of that? Getting 28 people, let's just go on the high side of the number, okay? I may be off too, but that's okay. Rewind the tape and say I'm wrong. 28 people to go into, they went through the Dominican Republic into Haiti first. They flew into the Dominican Republic, then crossed the border of Haiti. Now, I don't know if you guys saw Haitians. But Haitians look like me. Ain't too many light-skinned Haitians. Tell me the last time you seen a Haitian light-skinned. Now, K-Dub, my brother, he says that Haiti is part of the Americas. We are under the British crown. We're talking about geography. Haiti does not fall under the Americas. But we're dealing with semantics, right? Geographical location, we're dealing with semantics, okay? We're picking and prying here. But the point of the fact is they're painting the picture that these two dark-skinned gentlemen who are Haitian Americans put together this plot to kill the Haitian president by going somehow to Colombia to get 26 paid mercenaries with the logistics and support. Let me tell you something. If you know the history of the Western world, damn near every assassination came from the West of other countries. I don't want to name all the countries that had people assassinated, like Libya, who had people assassinated that was the directive of the West. And we know what the West we're talking about. I feel like I'm living in the Western country I'm referring to. Probably under the orders of the other West that sounds like Europe. See, here's the thing. They paint a picture. They say, oh, the two black guys, right? Because let's look at some of these pictures very quickly. The two black guys, there's 28 of them, but the two black guys got together this hit squad from Colombia, took them into the Dominican Republic, went over the border to assassinate the Haitian president. And while they were infiltrating the president's house, they said DEA. How do you get almost 30 people into a country to assassinate a president? Now, Haiti is already in shambles. See, what people don't understand about President Jovenel Moïse, he was trying to stabilize Haiti's economy to build it up. And see, we can't have melanated countries in that predicament to be built up, because when I look at the hit squad, when I look at the mercenaries, do they fit in Haiti? Do they fit in Haiti? No, they do not. So all the Western media, you name it, it don't matter where you go to. New York Times, CBC, CBS, NBC, LA. It doesn't matter what news channel, BBC. It don't matter which one you go to. They're painting the only two melanated gentlemen, and one of them as the assassin. This is a simple case of smoke and dagger. This is very simple. But see, when you operate on a low vibrational energy, intelligent level, then you're easily fooled. Me and my wife today, we had a conversation. And she was playing the other side of the pendulum about how we as a community can be more united and do better. That was my take. And I was like, well, you know, babe, when we look at the grand scheme of things, white supremacy have boxes in. And every time we try to wiggle out, they find something else to deflect us from being prosperous. And then she will come up with another countering argument saying, but now that we know, why is it that we're still in the predicament that we are? Even though she know my side, we were just having, I love those intelligent conversations with her. This is off topic, but I'm just going to say it anyway. I remember talking to females about things that I want to talk about in the conversations with nowhere. So gentlemen, if you like to have intelligent conversations, you might want to get a woman who's intelligent. Just because she got a big butt and a smile, yeah, that's what you're going to get. Those conversations. Let's move on. So most Haitians, 99% of Haitians are dark-skinned, melanated people. And now Haitian citizens hold up passports. That's what this says. Haitian citizens hold up passports as they gather in front of the U.S. Embassy. And this is July 10th, 2021, asking for the asylum after the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse, explaining that there is too much insecurity in the country and that they fear for their lives for public. Now, here's the thing. Anytime there is an eruption in power, anytime there is assassination of a country's president, the power has to shift somewhere. So these regular citizens are now saying, hey, I want to go to the U.S. because Haiti has no power structure. There's no one in charge. Because the Western world is now asking Haiti, well, who's in charge? Hey, listen, first and foremost, leave them alone. Okay, you helped them out during the earthquake, was it about 2010, that earthquake just totally ransacked all of Haiti. But this is the problem. If I am the cause of the assassination, and I know what that's going to do because history tells me when you assassinate important people in government, but there's going to be a power struggle, then I can come in as the great white hope and save you. And see, here's the thing. If you guys look at the history of the Western world, look how the Black community is doing right now in your neighborhood. Who introduced drugs into the Black community? Who destroyed all of the Black Wall Street when Black people were doing very, very well? Who destroyed the Black family by redlining, by discrimination, by racism, by making sure you never get a high-paying job, by introducing crack cocaine, heroin? Who done that? Because if you notice, if you go back to, I won't go back that far. I go back to the 40s, 50s, and 60s. 80% of the Black community was married. And so if you don't know your history and you don't know a little bit of world history of how the Western world has always decided who will be in power, they will replace President Moisier more times than that with a coon because they say, hey, we don't want him to be president because he's going to build up Haiti. We want him to be president because he's going to allow us to get to those resources. Now, some of you may not be familiar with Haiti's resources. Why do you think the French was over there in the 1800s? The 17 and 1800s. Why do you think the French was over there? You think the French was over there for mangoes and coconuts? Hell no. When we look at the resources of Haiti, some of you may not be familiar with the resources of Haiti, but I am. In addition to wood, Haiti has some mineral deposits including copper, gold, and ignite. Known deposits of high-grade calcium carbonate exist but have yet to be mined. Listen to that. High-grade calcium carbonate exists but have yet to be mined. Haiti has numerous sites where construction material such as gravel, limestone, clay, and sand can be gathered. Now, what do you think is most important to the Western world? High-grade calcium carbonate, copper, a great conductor of electricity, gold, we use gold for everything, limestone, gravel, all of these are very high-grade materials that Haiti actually have. And guess what? Calcium carbonate has yet to be mined. So they have like an unlimited supply. And the reason why Haiti probably hasn't mined it because they don't have a country to export it. Because the Western world has essentially like, no, we're not going to deal with Haiti. You killed all the French back in the 1800s. See, Haiti is literally the only country of melanated people that fought up against their oppressors. And they have not been under K-Dub, British rule. They may have been on somewhat of British influence, but they've been running their own country. And anytime you have somebody to speak up for the people, Martin Luther King, anytime you have someone to speak up for the people and tell them to fight back, Malcolm X, they get assassinated. Anytime you start teaching the people about black nationalism, something occurs to them, Marcus Garvey. They only will allow some of us to do very well. And see, that's what people don't understand. When people have this argument with melanated people, they say, well, you're doing well. He's doing well. And you say, well, look at the majority of our people. Look at our people. They're doing horribly. We're doing horrible as a people. See, and this is a conversation I had with my lady this morning. I said Indians, East Indians, they come over here from India, and India is overpopulated. Most of them live in the slums, but the people that come over here, hey, can somebody tell me where an Indian homeless person is? Anybody? An East Indian homeless person. Can someone tell me? Let me tell you, it was a couple of years ago. I want to say it was around 2010. I was up in Vancouver, Canada, and a buddy of mine was Indian. He took me to his house, nice house. It was about 6 or 7 of them living in there, but they all had nice cars. And I was just looking around. I was like, I saw a lot of dark people, but all of them were East Indian. And I said, oh, he said, yeah, there's a lot of Indians living here. And I said, well, yeah. He said, yeah, man, we'll come to an area and we'll just buy up the property. So my lady was like, well, why can't we do that? I said, babe, we're not allowed to do that. Because white supremacists, they need a buffer class. They need a buffer class. The buffer class now are Asians, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and East Indians. They're the buffer class to keep blacks, to keep melanated people, to keep the Negro down. But see, we can't see this because if our agenda is, oh, we're Democrat, if our agenda is we're Republican, if I'm part of some specialty group, I'm part of this religion, then it's all about my faith. How long do we have to be fooled until we wake the hell up? Generation after generation after generation. It seems like we will start to have progress. We'll take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. We'll take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. Let me read some of your notes here. Sean says, obviously, this was masterminded with lots of resources behind them. Looking critically at this, the man was not killed in a coup by some indigenous with the mindset of taking over the government for themselves. I agree. He also says this was done to this thank you, destabilize the country. Thank you. I couldn't say it better myself. As a matter of fact, I didn't say it. K-Dub says the Americans go from Greenland. Okay, you playing with semantics, K-Dub. That's not even important right now. Let's see here. Link says facts. They always point out an orphan or Oprah or a basketball player or football player. Impress me. Show me a rich Pookie and Ray Ray. My point exactly. See, here's the thing. Here's how you fool people. You have to have a proxy. You sit up a couple of rich black people, a bunch of prominent black people, and you say, well, look at these guys. They did it. Jay-Z did it. He's from the streets of Marcy. He sold drugs and he used his skills and talents to be a billionaire. I'm not taking anything away from Jay-Z, but what I'm saying is they allow some of us to make it. But look at all the rich people. Look at all the rich black people. Look at all the rich black people. Let's just keep it a buck. Let's keep it real as hell. Majority of the rich black people either dunk a ball or catch a ball or spew poison in our neighborhoods. Now, I listen to hip hop, I listen to rap, but did you guys ever listen to the words? Have you guys ever just sit down and listen to some of the words? And I'm not going to even go ham on Future. You know that guy, what's that guy's name? His name is Spadum Gotham. If you sit down and listen to the words of his popular song, he's talking about how he literally has a Draco and how the Draco is beat bop. That's the name of the song, beat bop, and how I go, and how he's tracking down somebody and killing them. But it's over a good beat and he's on rhythm. That's what we love. But that's a subconscious mindset that essentially have you killing your own people. We're going to give Spadum Gotham a $5 million contract because he's killing the black neighborhood by himself. If words wasn't powerful, Why do we have public speakers? Why do we have rappers? Why do we have R&B singers? See, what you don't understand is this is all tied into imagery and audible propaganda. Audible propaganda. What you hear and what you see tells you the truth, especially when you are uneducated and or uninformed. During the destabilization of a country is a power grab. During the destabilization of a country, there's a power grab. In a country like Haiti, that was already on shaky ground. They say, wait a minute, this president is trying to get together the people. He's trying to build up their economy. They have a lot of precious resources. They're going to do what Ghana is doing. They're going to tell us go fuck ourselves. And then that's what Ghana told the French. The Ghana president, I love that guy. I don't even know him. I just love what he's about. He's about building his damn country. He say, hey, listen, Switzerland. He told Switzerland, hey, listen, y'all been making a lot of money off our coffee. We're going to start cultivating our own coffee, and you can buy it from us. But we're not going to give you the grounds and you stamp Switzerland on it. Then you sell it to the Western world, and now your company is worth billions of dollars. No. You're going to buy our coffee, and then you can stamp it on there. See, I hope countries like Kenya, I hope countries like the Republic of Congo follow some of the things that the Nigerians are doing with their economy and government, and some of the things that the Guyanese people are doing. I'm not saying everything they're doing is great, but what I'm saying is this is how the Western world gets inside a country and starts to extract resources by destabilizing the country by killing one person. They're like, one guy killed one person. See, America, you can't just kill one person, because what the Western world understand is this. We have a whole system structure. We have an infrastructure of people on code. We have a whole infrastructure of people on code. If you assassinate the president, we got the vice president. You assassinate the vice president, we got the secretary of state. And then it goes down the line. So it would be very, very hard to destabilize the country. The president gets sick, we got the VP. You get the point I'm making. But see, Haiti at one point in time was on code. 1804, the war of 1804, when they annihilated all of the French. They said, because during that time, you have to understand this. It was the indigenous people of Haiti and the African melanated people that they brought over there as slaves. They say, hey, man, we get on code. We can take care of all of them. Oh, man, they got guns. They got superior weaponry. We got the numbers. We have the numbers. See, I'm still to this day trying to research how in the hell did Europe colonize Africa? Now, granted, they had some coons, they had some Sambos, they had some sellouts, they had some backwater deals. But when you really think about it, like South Africa, I'm looking at stories every day of how the ancestors of the white Dutch enslavers still live in South Africa and still run a lot of the real estate and property there. And some of them are still inside of the government. And I know some South Africans, white South Africans. And here's the thing. They won't talk to you as though they know the history of South Africa and how they became South Africa and white. They don't tell you that. Oh, yeah, I'm South African. They have this weird, like, English, Australian mix and African accent. This is a weird thing. You have to hear it for yourself. But they speak as though, that's their natural born country, which is true, but they don't tell you how they got there. What we need to understand is that the Dutch colonized South Africa. The Portuguese colonized Mozambique and Angola. The French tried to colonize Haiti. The French did colonize Senegal and some neighboring countries in there. And we won't even talk about all the countries that the British colonized. Good Lord. But see, this is how you get easily fooled and taken away, that because they show black pictures, they show black people. You're like, yeah, he probably did it because he probably want to be president. Can we break this down just one more time? There was 28 people. 26 of them were Colombian citizens. 2 of them was Haitian American citizens. And you're telling me these Haitian American citizens somehow went over to Colombia. Somehow they went over to Colombia and got a hit squad of guys that look like this. Somehow organized this, got them in Dominican Republic. And Dominican Republic, a lot of people look like me. I've been to the Dominican Republic. I'm going back. Most of the people in the Dominican Republic look like me, but there's light-skinned Dominicans, brown-skinned Dominicans, but most of them look like me. But somehow, logistically got heavily armed mercenaries in the country. You're telling me 2 black people, Haitian Americans, did that? And see, things like this comes from support of a powerful country. Throw the rock with one hand and hide the other. Throw the rock with one hand and hide the other. Who did that? Who did that? See, they use proxies to show the people, to propagandize people. Because here's the thing, you believe your eyes and you believe your ears. So if all the media you listen to, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, BBC, NBC, ABC, they all tell you that, well, you know, there was 2 black guys over there and they Haitian American, and one of them wanted to be president. One of them wanted to be president. Sorry for this. It keeps moving on me. One of these wanted to be president. This guy right here, he wanted to be president. Now, here's the thing that's important. When I was in the military, when we went out on missions in Iraq, the interpreters always wore identifying clothing. They dressed like nobody else. Their body armor was different. They may even have some sort of sign or signal or interpreter on the back. Their helmets were different. And I just want you to just do a compare and contrast. If I'm over there to overthrow the government, if I'm over there to do kind of a smoke and dagger, if I'm trying to blend in, first and foremost, why the hell am I wearing identifying clothing where me and the other mercenary, if you want to call these guys that, which I believe they was interpreters, are wearing white t-shirts and brown pants, while everybody else is just wearing all types of other clothing? Jeans, black shirts, color shirts. I'm just saying, I don't want to paint the narrative for you, because again, propaganda comes through auditory listening and learning. I don't want to do that. I just want you to have some critical thinking, and I want you to think about it. How can 2 Haitian Americans, why didn't we know about these? Are these guys millionaires? How did they, listen to this. If they're Haitian Americans, how did they get on a plane, fly to Colombia, talk to some, got 26 people together, bought them all sorts of assault weapons and tactical clothing and equipment, fly into or drive into or swam into or boated into Dominican Republic, crossed the border of a highly melanated country undetected, and then at the end of it got captured after they shot and riddled the body of President Jovenel Moïse after shooting him in the head like 12 times, making sure he was dead. How did that happen with two black guys? Now, I may know a little bit. I was in the military for 20 years. I may know a little bit. I'm just saying, that sounds like a very powerful government organizing, strategizing. It's kind of like, how did kilos of cocaine enter America undetected and somehow end up in the black community and devastating the black community ever since the 70s? Cocaine, oh, well, cocaine, okay, they catching on the cocaine. Heroin, oh, they catching on the heroin. Opioids, methazine. How did Frank White, all these gangsters, look at the show Snowfall. Look at the show Snowfall. They talk about it's fiction. Nah, it's based on true events. How a CIA operative, a CIA agent, is funneling cocaine to the drug dealers in LA. They're selling to their people, killing their people, all the while they're funding a war. Where that cocaine come from? Almost look like we have a history with Colombia. It almost look like we have a history with Colombia. I'm just saying. If you just do your history, I don't want to give all the trinkets away. I don't want to give all my knowledge nuggets away. Then nobody will go out and do the research. You may be bored one day. I'm just saying, let me read your notes. Vet says, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Sister, I couldn't say it no better myself. Because here's the thing. Men, you tell your woman you're beautiful, you're intelligent, you're going to lift her up. If you tell her she's a stupid biot and blah, 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 you're going to. If you tell your men you're a strong, working hard man, I love you so much, he's going to walk around like he's the best thing on earth. If you say you stupid, you dumb, you broke, you blah, 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 he's going to have his tail between his legs and probably punch you in the face. Power in life is in the tongue. What I see here, Link says, we're the majority of the world, and if we ever unite, it's over for the rain. Black rule is scary to them. Their birth rate declining and opioids is killing them badly. Indeed. That's why they have a buffer class. That's why Asians can get an Asian hate bill, and melanated people in this country, we have never had any protections under the law. If you guys go and subscribe to Tariq Nasheed's Twitter, he's posting all sorts of things, how black people are always getting accused of something. We're always being racially profiled. They will destroy the planet before they just hand it over to us. Indeed. Sean says these Western countries divide Africa amongst themselves at the Berlin Conference of 1886 while they were wining and dining. Yes, they have. And it's still working. See, the British said, I'm not going to even say the British. I don't want to call them out like that. The Western powers in Europe said, you know what? We didn't use Africa as much as we can. And here's the thing about the southern parts of Africa and a lot of the adjacent islands of Africa, they're still under French rule. And a lot of those Africans, they have so many damn French people there. The Africans like, well, the French outnumber us. How can we get them out of our country? Madagascar, St. Charles, all these countries, they built up. And that's why you will see a lot of Europeans vacationing in Africa rather than going to the Caribbean. They're like, we own that over there. Why you think the president of the EEF, I forgot the guy's name, somebody put him in the chat. I love that guy. He had a speech about how foreigners will come over, Asian and white foreigners will come over to South Africa without proper documentation, meaning like passports and green cards. And how brothers and sisters of Africa that live in Africa from adjacent countries, Namibia, Gambia, Congo, Tanzania, Botswana, they will try to come to South Africa and, oh no, you need paperwork. You need this. You won't allow your brother and sisters in the country, but you'll allow these so-called investors. Who has been for, the past 500-600 years been raping your country. And now the British say, now that we're done with Africa, we're going to go back home and enjoy our riches. And then they said, hey, China, you can have our leftovers. So the Chinese over there in different African countries, buying up the land, buying up property, building military facilities, military bases. So the one thing that the Western power doesn't like is when one Western country starts to gain more money than another Western country, in this case, an Eastern country. So say, well, what country have we not exploited yet? They said, Haiti. They're trying to get their country on track through economics. See, there's a lot of African countries, they have made themselves almost impenetrable. And see, certain African presidents, they need to be protected. And a lot of, and see, countries are seeing a lot of prosperities in these countries. See, you see prosperity in Kenya. You see prosperity in Tanzania. You see a lot of prosperity in Rwanda. You see prosperity in Nigeria. You see you see a lot of prosperity. And so what they're learning is this: hey, I need a successor with a like mind of building this country up. See, Haiti is just getting off the ground with their president that just got assassinated. So if somebody tells me that they believe these two Haitian Americans logistically got 26 Colombian mercenaries over into the country, got to the president and assassinated him all by themselves, some people say, well, Ross, why haven't you talked about the narrative of Colombia actually organizing this so they can reign supreme in Haiti? Well, if we're talking about evidence, we're talking about history, we're talking about patterns, Colombia doesn't have a history of that. Colombia does not have a history of that, but the Western powers do. See, the Western powers dictate when they can, more times than not. They dictate who becomes president in all these other countries, in these melanated countries. See, I'm keeping my eye on countries like Ghana, who's doing very well. Countries like Nigeria. I wonder who's funding the Boko Haram. I wonder who's funding them. Nobody, like, where are they getting their resources from? Where are they getting their guns from? Last time I checked, when the Guyanese police caught a squad, a platoon of Boko Haram, they said they had U.S. weapons on them. I'm not saying the U.S. did it. I'm just saying they had U.S. weapons. Where are they getting their supplies from? See, I don't want to spew poison to you guys, propaganda to you guys. I just want you to think about it. See, what I'm giving you are facts. And better yet, let's take the word facts out, because I won't get into the difference between the fact and the truth. Truth. That's why you have to speak truth to power, not facts. Because here's the thing. If it's 10 people, let me show you the correlation. If there's 10 people and 9 people say the sky is green, they can name that a fact, while the one person say, no, the sky is blue. No. It's a fact that the sky is green. But the truth is the sky is blue. Or is the sky clear and is a reflection of the water, but then the ocean is clear, so is a reflection of the coral reef that's under the water. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Or is it vice versa? Is the sky blue because of the atmosphere, and the water is reflecting all the atmosphere, what makes the ocean blue? You see what I just did there? It's like, which one is the truth? Which one is a fact? And this is how easily we can be fooled when they start showing you pictures. Look how they cut off the picture. Why did you cut off the picture? Oh, yeah. Right here it says, Haitian government that assisted to surrender and arrest a suspect and one of the other individuals. Okay, they showing one suspect and the other individual. This is the main suspect right here, family, and the other individual. And see, this brother right here, you know what he's saying? He said, man, it's some bullshit. Here I am thinking that President Moise was doing something. I'm just going to be an interpreter. I'm getting paid good money. Now, I won't get into why they were even with this mercenary squad, because I can't speak to that. But what I know is anytime foreign mercenaries go into another country, they have interpreters when they don't speak the language. That's what I do know. Because when I went to Iraq, we had interpreters. Guess where those interpreters from? Iraq. Link says, if you check the old 1700 maps, there was a place called Negro Land. It said the kingdom of Judah. They changed the map up. Okay. Benjamin says, sounds like 7 special forces via 5th special forces supplies from the ranch. Okay. We're getting somewhere. These were highly trained mercenaries. I wonder who trained the Colombian special forces. I wonder who trained the Colombian special forces. By the way, guys, go ahead and hit that like, that thumbs up, and share this video, because I think this is a very important topic. And I may not be as intelligent as other YouTubers about it, but I just like to raise intelligent thoughts sometimes. Like, hey, have you ever just thought about this? Now, let's read on. Here we go. The doctor named as a suspect in the president's killing said he was sent by God. The accusation that a Florida-based doctor was a central figure in the assassination of President Jovenel Moise of Haitian has been met with bewilderment by some who knew him and surprised by prominent Haitian Americans who said he was not known as a major political player. At the same time, a university professor who met with the doctor twice last month said that he has spoken then of being sent by God to take over Haitian's presidency. How ironic. See, what we're doing right here, family, is we're painting a picture that this guy was talking about being the Haitian president, a month ago, before these mercenaries and him went over there to try to overthrow the government. See how they paint a picture? See, when Malcolm X got assassinated, who did they tell you assassinated Malcolm X? They told blacks the Nation of Islam. They said, don't be mad at us. It was Nation of Islam. Be mad at them. And then a lot of us, uninformed, unintelligent, is like, yeah, they were black and they were Muslim. And okay, if I'm the puppet master, who is really behind the assassination? Because see, if you ever been to a puppet show, if you have really good puppets, you don't see the strings, you just see the puppets doing whatever the puppet master tells them to do. Now, it's a little more intricate than that. It's a little deeper than that when you really think about it. Because more times than not, when they have a proxy, When they have somebody that look like the person they're assassinating, they're going to bring them up on charges. They're going to threaten to kill them. They're going to threaten to assassinate or kill their family. They're threatening them. They're not going to say, hey, man, hey, listen, we're going to give you $1 million if you go and assassinate this person. Oh, really? $1 million? Ladies and gentlemen, we have to be more intelligent than this. See, if the only thing that you subscribe to is white supremacist media, then those people are your gods. Those are the people you're going to listen to, and those people you're going to listen to above all else. Take, for instance, your new commander-in-chief. They told you that Donald Trump was a bigot. He was a racist. He was this, that, and the other. And they say, oh, ho. Don't hold Joe the same way in the same picture that you hold Trump. Don't do that, because Joe is not those things. But what about what he did? Oh, that was such a long time ago. Well, last time I checked, anytime you take on a new job, they look at your resume. Last time I checked, anytime you take on a new job, they look at your resume. Last time I checked, when you get a new job, they look at your resume. What have you done? And the one thing black people didn't say, I don't got no damn book right here. The one thing that black people didn't say is, Joe, let's see. So you want black people to vote for you? Let me see the last time you did something for black people. Well, Trump is racist. Okay, but we had a bunch of racist presidents. Ain't nothing changed for black people. So again, Joe, what did you do for black people your 40-something years being in the political arena? When did you do something for black people? Okay, I see you do something for Jews. Okay. Oh, I see you did something for Native Americans. Okay. Oh, you just did something for Asian Americans. Okay. But wait a minute. Didn't you say you was going to have black people's back? Didn't you say that? But but you gave Asian Americans an executive order of protection under the federal government after a year or two of being discriminated upon, and that like killed off. But black Americans has been subjugated and tortured and raped and falsely accused, falsely incarcerated since our establishment in this country, and no executive order. Wait a minute, hold up. Why am I voting for you again? Why didn't black people do that? Why didn't black people do that? I'm gonna tell you, they did the same thing with what's going on right here. They made one thing worse than the other. They showed you what they wanted to show you. Because for some reason, majority of black people are Democrats. I know the reason. That's a whole nother topic. They painted Donald Trump as the worst thing since Hitler. And we say, oh, he's racist. Last time I checked, when I look at the last 4 years, I started to look at the policies, the bills, the laws that Donald Trump made. He made no laws or bills that directly affected highly incarcerated, demonized melanated people in America. I didn't see it. I didn't read it. I was looking for it. But when I look at the track record of our current commander-in-chief, then I look at all the black Democratic shills, the black coons, the black Sambos that supported him. Oh yeah, Joe, when he get in office, you know what he gonna do? He gonna sign an executive order to recognize Juneteenth as a holiday. What is Juneteenth? A holiday? Who gets the holiday? All black people get the holiday? Or does everybody get the holiday? Ponder on that. As a matter of fact, go deeper. Pontificate on that. You went to Greenwood, Tulsa, and we're going to recognize the massacre that happened to Black Wall Street, the community of Greenwood in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We know that they burnt down your buildings, your houses, killed off your people, but I'm going to recognize it. And he put that in the executive order. But did he give those people who lost their businesses, generational wealth wiped away? Did he give them reparations? Did he give them monetary and compensation? No, he did not. He recognized it. It's kind of like if I'm at a basketball game and my boy up there, he doing this thing, he's shooting it. Hey, oh man, shit, man, you looking real good right now. I see you got about 15 points, man. You hot. That's it. That's it. It's like a basketball player playing on an empty contract and he just getting recognition. Do you think, why do you think all these black players in the A, B, C league, internationally, they want to come to the NBA? Because the NBA pays more money than all these other international leagues. The NBA doesn't say, hey, come play with us. They'll say, well, how much is my contract? Oh, no, we're going to recognize you. We're going to put you on TV. We're going to recognize you. You ever just thought about that? Nobody never thinks about that. Nobody said, what has Joe Biden done? So when you look at this, going back to the reading, about 24 people have been arrested in the killing, and Haitian officials have placed the doctor, Christian Emmanuel Sanders, 63, at the center of the investigation. At the center of the investigation. At the center of the investigation. 2 Black Haitian Americans. How rich were these people? That's my question. Have you noticed, did anybody find out their net worth? I'm gonna put it in perspective, and I'm gonna finish this dead. I'm gonna finish killing this dead horse. No pun intended. How much money does it take to fund a platoon of mercenaries from a different country? Food, water, transportation, and weapons. Let's just say equipment. Move a large body of mercenaries undetected into another country to assassinate a president undetected. Then this sounds, oh my God, this sounds so wicked. This sounds so much like Western power to me. After they follow through with the assassination, they don't even have a way to get out. That's so wicked. And I'm laughing because it's evil. They were fully loaded. They had full combat gear. This was the purpose. I mean, this is what I believe. What was the mission? The mission is go over, assassinate the Haitian president. Now, we cannot be tied to this. So we can't send anyone to retrieve you. But on the border of Dominican Republic is a 5-ton, a large truck that can carry all of you. But you have to get to the Dominican Republic first. So you have to shoot your way in and shoot your way out. Because here's the thing. If you've ever been to the Dominican Republic, they have white skin, light skin, brown skin, and dark skin and Dominicans. They said, Enrique, you can just shave your head and you can look like a Dominican. Or you can blend in a little bit better because you speak Spanish. But I'm trying to figure out, how do they do that? When the last time Colombian mercenaries had enough money to go out on their own and go to vacation in Dominican Republic? See, I'm just trying to break it down in a way you probably never just thought about it. Because I thought about it all damn day. I can't wait to get this stuff out of my head. Because it doesn't make any sense to me if people think that these two Haitian Americans, again, the answer to all of this, to what really occurred, is following the money. Financial Literacy 101, baby, you got to follow the money. What was the net worth of Vincent and Emmanuel? What was their net worth? Because I wonder, how much did you have to pay mercenaries to go into a country where 99% of the people have dark skin, then somehow they go undetected and kill the president? Now, I don't care what country you're in. It's difficult to kill presidents. How did Gaddafi get killed? I'm just saying. I'm not a rocket scientist. I'm just a dude talking on the internet. I'm just looking at it like, let's go back. I'm almost done. It says the Center of Investigation has stretched out from Haiti to Colombia and the United States. The center of the investigation that has stretched out from Haiti to Colombia and the United States. The doctor's brother, Joseph Sandin, said that he had not been in touch with him for a while, that he had no idea what was going on. I am desperate to know what's happening, he said. A former neighbor of the doctor in Florida, Stephen Brawl, 65, said he was always trying to figure out ways to make Haiti more self-sufficient, but assassinated the president? Oh, no way, not that guy. Not him. He's not about assassinating no president. In a telephone interview on Monday, a civil engineer professor at whatever university that is in Port-au-Prince, Haiti's capital, said he had received a call from out of the blue to attend a meeting with Dr. Sandin, who had told him he was planning a political campaign. Professor Plotcher said he had never heard of the doctor, but decided to attend the meeting, which were held at a home in the capital after internet searches showed Dr. Sandin to be a pastor who had done charitable work. The two men had a first meet and greet encounter on June 1st. And here we are a little bit a month later. 10 days later, that's when he got assassinated on June 10th, or was it July 10th. The initial contact was followed a day or two later by an hour-long meeting with Dr. Sandin, had a group of 6 to 8 people. Both meetings happened in the same home in Port-au-Prince. He said he was sent by God. He was sent on a mission of God to replace Moise. Professor Buncher said he said the president would be resigning soon. He didn't say why. Family, you got to love this. This is painting by the numbers. This reading this is just like red is 1, blue is 2, and white is 3. Red, white. Painting by the numbers. This is painting by the numbers. I'm going to read a little bit more and I'm going to finish up here. During a raid of his home, the Haitian authorities said the police found a DEA cap. The team of hitmen who assaulted Mr. Moise's home appeared to have falsely identified themselves as the drug enforcement agents. 6 holsters, about 20 boxes of bullets, 24 unsued shooting targets, and 4 license plates from the Dominican Republic. Are you telling me that these 2 guys or this one guy orchestrated all of this? But later earlier in the story, they said he worked for the DEA. Have you noticed that a lot of these proxies have some ties to the federal government, the federal law enforcement government? I'm not painting a picture. I'm just giving you the facts or the truth. A YouTube video recorded in 2011 titled Dr. Christian Sandin, Leadership of Haiti, appears to present Mr. Sandin as a potential leader of the country in it. The speaker denounces Haiti leaders as corrupt plunderers of his resources. As the authorities focus on Dr. Sanders' action in recent months, a clear picture of his past also coming into view. Can I tell you guys something? Can I paint a quick picture for you? And not to feed your mind, but let me paint a picture. I'm gonna name some very popular, prominent people. And if I paint the picture right, I can directly tie them to overthrowing the government. Can I show you how? Those B1 personnel. I'm not going to name their name. I don't want the YouTube algorithm to ping them or ping me. But I will say this. I'll say those gentlemen who was part of the B1 brigade, I'll say codename Tariq, codename Professor Black, codename TBA, codename Dr. Umar Johnson, that speak out against the white power, white supremacy structure. If 5 years from now, if something occurs in the U.S. government, do you know they can directly tie them to the assassination by having them, when they're giving a motivational, informative speech in D.C. during a parade, speaking out against it, they have them in the right place at the right time. Then they go back and say, look at all these videos they made about white supremacy and how if you're not part of white supremacy, then you benefit from white supremacy and your white privilege. You see how you can take someone's history, you can take someone's rhetoric and use it as information to build a case of assassination. Let me read your notes and get out of here, man. This is making me hot. I'm not going to go up so far. Let's go here, Sean. You would not believe that the next day after the Haitian president was killed, CNN was trying to advance a narrative that the Haitian president was trying to hold power against the wish of Haiti. She said, not a dime. Hundreds of thousands at a minimum to fund it. Thank you, Wendell. Wendell also says, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a couple $1 million operation. If it cost $7 million, then this was the cost of doing business. Indeed. Vet says, even VP Kamala Harris asked President Biden for an apology for his vote involved in school. Link says, what if the North is really the South and the East is really the West, and the North is actually hot and the South is actually cold, like Greenland? Is covered in ice and ice is covered in green. I love it. I love what you did there, brother. I love what you did there. This is the exact thing I'm talking about. Now, the other part of this narrative and perspective is it possible that he did do it? Yeah. Anything's possible. Is it possible that he did do it? Yes. Yes, it is very possible that he did do it. But let me leave you with this. Haiti's natural resources. Oil and natural gas. Hey family, have you seen the oil prices? It's roughly $147, $148 a barrel. And if you notice, all of the gas in all of the states went up. Even in Texas, it's $3 a gallon right now. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I scare myself. Sometimes I do. I'm not a smart guy. I'm just well informed. This is from the World Atlas. This is the first thing that they have. Look at this, family. Boom, Haiti. Mountains of Haiti. Boom. Oil, natural, and gas. A recent finding has shown the nation. Let me blow. You have to see this. The nation of Haiti might have some of the largest oil reserves in the world. You got it. We need it. You got it. We need it. So the U.S., because they was mentioned in this assassination, they're sending investigators over to Haiti. They're not sending troops. They're just sending investigators. Now, Haiti supposedly is calling for the U.S. help. Can I give you a scenario? I'm being cute right now. Guys and ladies and gentlemen, I'm deeply in love with a woman. She only called me when she needs something. Lately, all her finances are good. Got her own car, got her own house. She don't need me for anything. She just got a new job. I go and I flatten all her tires. Who do you think she called and give her a ride to work? And guess what I'm going to ask in return? Some of that cookie. Think about it. We need oil and gas because we don't want to go into our Alaska reserves. Oil right now is $148 a barrel. This is financial literacy 101. We're talking about money. Because at the end of the day, people are talking about, oh, it's about the government. It's about fucking money. I keep telling y'all, my Cigar Talks is about money. This is the root of it all. This is the base of it all. This is the foundation of it all. It's about stinking freaking money. Because resources is another name for money. Resources is just another name for money. Let's go back. The nation of Haiti might have some of the largest oil reserves in the world. They saying, because if you guys didn't know this, that's why we were trying to start a lot of stuff in Venezuela. It says here, it's estimated that they could be larger than those of Venezuela. Uh-oh. So, can I ask a question? The Middle East got rich off America because of their oil, but Haiti has more oil than the Middle East, more oil than Venezuela, and they're not one of the richest countries in the world. And we're in the U.S. and Europe is the number one consumers of oil. And now Haiti is calling the U.S. for help. And you have resources that we need and want. I'm just reading it. Second on the list, gold. It says Haiti is thought to have gold deposit worth $20 billion. Why isn't Haiti one of the richest countries in the world? First of all, the white global supremacist power structure won't allow Haiti to be rich, even with their resources. Because the first thing you might ask yourself, first and foremost, power is not given, power is taken. Power is not given, power is taken. It happens all day in the hood. Oh man, he a big time drug dealer. What do they do to get rid of him? They kill him. They either kill him or set him up, and then they take the reign. Power is not given, it is taken. They have $20 billion in gold deposit, and it's estimated they have the world's largest oil and natural gas deposits. Why isn't Haiti the richest country in the world? Is it because they killed off all the French back in 1804? And the Western world say, you know what, we just gonna box Haiti out like we did North Korea. Oh, we should do dealings with them because they have a lot of oil. We can get at this kind of price. No. We got a bigger plan for them. We're not going to do business with them. We're going to take what we need. I'm just saying, that's my perspective. Let me move on. Third, copper. At least 2 million metric tons of copper. 2 million metric tons. Not 2 metric tons. 2 million metric tons. What do we use copper for? We use it for jewelry. We use it for a great conductor of electricity. Just to name a few. So the three top resources: oil and natural gas, gold, and copper. Family, I think I said enough tonight. Enough that they may strike this video. YouTube, I didn't say nothing wrong. This is my perspective. This is my narrative, and I built it. I'm just saying, gas prices in America. And here's the thing. If you guys are not familiar, we have a lot of projection models in the U.S. The U.S. knew that at this current time, with, inflation rose again. Matter of fact, I'm going to look that up very quickly. Inflation rose again. Oil is at an all-time high. President of Haiti gets assassinated. They have the world's largest oil reserve. I'm just saying. Family. Let me look this up. Give me 1 second. I'm going to look this up really quickly. They're showing me, okay, here we go. Where we at? Give me a second, family. They give me some jinky rates here. Hold on. This is very powerful. This is coming from the current U.S. inflation rates from 2001. Now, if you've ever been a part of this channel, please subscribe at this current time. I do a cigar talks. I do them now Tuesdays and either Friday or Saturday nights. Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, I do a stock review, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, I give some sort of financial information, okay? In very different ways. But nonetheless, let's look at this, because the average U.S. inflation rate it varies from 1.8 to 2.1. What are the U.S. inflation rates now? The annual inflation rate for the United States is 5.4% for the 12 months ended in June 2021. Family, after rising 5% previously, according to U.S. Department of Labor data published on July 13th. The next inflation update is scheduled for release on August 11th. So right now, the current inflation rate is at an all-time high of 5.4%. And see, again, we have these projection models. I want you to think about this very, very seriously. Why did why did the Haitian president get assassinated after a year of a pandemic? While people are not spending as much money as they once did, oil prices go up. When oil prices go up, people drive less. People spend less. I just paused just for you guys to think about that. When you are not spending money, rich folk are not getting rich. When you are not spending money, when you're not driving your car, tell me how many people are getting paid off your vehicle being moved. Oil, gas, anyone who makes lubricants, car parts, car dealerships, insurance companies. See, you got to deconstruct this and have a really critical thought about how all of this is related to money. And then Haiti has the world's largest oil reserve. This is sinister. This is evil at its best. And it's right in your face. You just can't be fooled. Why did somebody wait to after inflation rose 5.4%? Why did somebody wait on the projection models that we had, knowing that inflation was going to rise, gas was going to rise? If gas rises, guess what was rising? Food rises. Because it takes gas, it takes oil to transport food from farms and manufacturing facilities. So everything becomes what? More expensive. When things become more expensive, people spend less. No. The U.S. is a nation of consumers. So we need things at a minimum price that reach the national income of Americans, so Americans can spend at the same rate they always been spending. But if prices rise and income's lower, then people are not going to spend that much money, meaning that America is not going to have that much money for the rich people who actually run the country. It's about money. Then let me go back on one thing. It says here that the gentleman in question that supposedly is a suspect of the assassination, he said that he was sent by God and that the Haitian president was going to soon resign. Haitian American, but not no one in Haiti. No one in Haiti, Haitian American. No one in Haiti, Haitian American, with 26 mercenaries from Colombia. This is blackball, poorest country on the Western Hemisphere. Indeed it is, sister. Link says, Haitians say they'd rather die before they let Europeans take over. They know Haiti not having it. Well, things are changing. Because they had hope in President Jovenel Moïse. But now what are Haitians doing? They have their passports and they saying Haitian citizens hold up passports as they gather in front of the U.S. Embassy on July 10, 2020, asking for asylum after the assassination of their president. This is Financial Literacy 101. Please subscribe to the channel. Give this video a like. You guys have a great and wonderful evening. Happy Tuesday to you. We out. Just letting you know, family, we are out here.
And make sure it sound right, boy.
You know how we do it, family. We're just gonna rock out a little bit, cool down. Everybody's frustrated. Let's just cool down a little bit. But we gotta see through the white supremacy lens. See, white supremacy paints a lens. White supremacy paints a lens. They put an imagery and projections and make you hear what they want you to hear. Thank you, Wendell. Thank you, Link. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, K-Dub. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Benjamin. Thank you, Hip Hop West. You guys have a great and wonderful night. I'm just here to make you think.